Hello, um, and welcome to Common Sense for Uncommon Times. I'm Robin, and today we're going to do something a little bit different than what I had originally said. Uh, this episode is supposed to be on um, housing, and how to handle housing during the hard times. However, there is so much going on right now that I think needs to be addressed. So, what we're going to do today is we're going to discuss the fires down in Los Angeles. There's been a lot of misconception put out there. Um, there's been statements made that the water was turned off, that the water has been let to run into the ocean, and that's why there wasn't enough water to put out the fires. There's been just about everything said that could be said regarding this issue. And truth be told, um, the real reason why this happened all boils down to what we spoke about before, climate change. That with the climate changing, we're seeing superstorms. So tornadoes that used to go through Tornado Alley, we're seeing that they're bigger, and there's more of them. If you've been watching the news, you saw some of those tornado storms that went through this year. Um, there were, number one, they were massive, and number two, uh, there was just multiples, and it caused absolute devastation. Hurricanes, look what happened in Florida and uh, Tennessee, and those regions. Um, Again, a superstorm, not the typical big hurricane that you would see, but rather an absolute superstorm that took out multiple states, caused severe damage, caused deaths in multiple states. So this is all directly related to climate change. I mean, this is what we can expect from here on out. As far as Los Angeles is concerned, their rain season for last year was non-existent. They just didn't get enough rain, so everything is completely dry. On top of that, the Santa Ana winds are coming in at times that are unexpected. This shouldn't have been happening. And not only did they come in during a season that they're not really expected, but then they came in as a superstorm. So the day that the fire started, that morning, Los Angeles saw snow, rain, and then the Santa Ana wind started picking up. And instead of being a, typical Santa Ana wind of, 40 or so miles an hour gusting, they were reaching anywhere from 80 to 100 miles an hour. That's massive. Now, the fire started, they still don't know what caused it. Someone has been arrested in Los Angeles, suspected of arson, not of the Palisades fire, but they suspect him. He was trying to use a blowtorch to start fires in another area that's outside the existing fire lines. And he was arrested for that. But then it appears that he may be linked to the Kent fire, also in Los Angeles. So I think we'll have to wait and see on that one. That's not for sure yet. But whatever the cause that started these fires, and most certainly it could be a direct cause from the Santa Ana winds because that blows down lines and lines cause fires. I mean, it's just what happens. And then, of course, with all the everything being dry, you know, it would happen. But initially, before the winds got completely out of control, they were able to have the um, the firefighters that normally go in the air and scoop up water, dump water. They were able to actually have them in the air for a while. However, once the winds picked up, they couldn't fly. So now Los Angeles was having to rely 100% on ground forces. And that's fine when it's just, certain, a small area and a few houses. But when you start talking about hundreds, actually at this point, it's well over 1,000 houses and businesses. When you're talking that number, the ground support is very limited. On top of that, when a house burns, plumbing melts. And what that means is that the water lines now are losing water. I mean, the water's just running out onto the ground because the lines have melted. And once again, if it's a couple of houses, it's not going to affect anything. When you're talking about hundreds of houses, all having damaged water lines and water running out on the ground, which, by the way, does not help put out the fire because the water's on the ground, the fire's up above, so it's not helping. What it does do, though, is it reduces the pressure to where the water pressure is being lost. And then on top of that, with people using, outside of the area, using water normally, not in any awful way or anything, that reduces it more. And when the next house goes, it's going to reduce it more. And it continues and continues and continues until the firefighters do not have any real water pressure to fight the fire because all the water is running out on the ground. Now, there was a lot of talk about that the water was turned off. No, it was not turned off. The pressure was there. I mean, the water was there. It just wasn't being pressurized where the firefighters could use it because of all the houses that had burned and were leaking water. And again, they had no air support. Because quite honestly, even if, Governor Newsom was sending water to the ocean or whatever, this is Los Angeles. The ocean's right there. And when air support is able to run, they're able to go out into the ocean and scoop up water to dump. But with the winds the way they were, they couldn't do it. Now, what really has me upset about all of this is that people have died. People have been horrifically burned and injured. People have lost their homes, their personal and private possessions. It's absolute devastation. The Palisades are basically gone. And yet we have these people out there, a certain group of people, that feel like, they should be out there just placing blame and making statements when they really have no idea what they're talking about. And it's thoroughly upsetting. Thoroughly upsetting. People are grieving, and this is how we're responding. So I felt there needed to be a little truth out there because it doesn't seem like a lot of people are actually telling the truth. And when it's being told, certain groups of people just aren't listening. So rather than blame Governor Newsom or the mayor of Los Angeles or any number of people that you want to blame politically, instead, why don't you turn that into something positive and see what you can do to help? People are going to need help. A lot of people are going to need help. So, this is a good opportunity to step up and do what you can, for the people out there who need it. So, yeah, little short one there. Sorry if I got a little upset, but it's so disheartening to see that anymore everyone wants to make everything political. And rather than do research to find out why the water pressure was low, why the air crews were not in the air, why this fire got out of control due to 80 and 100-mile-an-hour winds. I mean, that's kind of obvious. The winds are that bad. The fire's going to spread, and it's going to spread really fast. So we need to learn to research and stop this taking someone else's word for it. Just because someone says something doesn't make it true. You need to find out for yourself where the truth lies. So, thank you for coming back and listening. And I guess I had my little rant for today, but I hope that everybody takes care out there. I hope that you have been out starting your pantries. And next time we come back, we'll go ahead and talk about housing, and then we'll follow that up with the type of supplies that you should have on hand for safety and health. So, again, please like, subscribe, comment. If you have any questions or concerns, definitely leave them in the comments. If you have anything to add that is of a positive nature and is helpful to other people, please do that as well. And take care and hang in there. Bye for now.